What is going on, my fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money Online Training Podcast. It's your boy B Mark, and in today's episode, we're talking about heartbreak. Before I get into this isn't about me and Kirsten. Yes, sillies. Kirsten and I are doing fucking great. What this is about is I'm writing a book right now, and I want to talk a little bit about like goals and going after the shit that you want because, fucking dude, like I'm reliving this experience of how the fuck I came to be where I'm at right now. And just going back into my past and seeing like where Aesthetic Nation came from, seeing where the fitness business came from, seeing where all of the fucking life that I'm living right now stemmed from is absolutely fucking insane. And this podcast is me inviting you to go after the thing that you fucking want, dude. Like, go after it with a ferocious intensity because I fucking promise you, if you just stay committed, you stay consistent, you stay resilient, magic happens. And I want to tell you guys a little bit about the book that I'm writing. It's called I Am Him. I'm in the process of writing it right now. And I'm talking about becoming a man that changes their family lineage forever. That's what I'm talking about. Talking about becoming a man that changes their family lineage forever. That's the premise of the book. The person that decides that they're going to be the person that like literally fucking breaks the chains of the generational curses that get passed down from person to person to person to person to person in the family. So reason I'm telling you guys this is like I've been writing this book now for like a couple months and was kind of losing inspiration for it. And I have this like jet mastermind that I'm on right now with Dan Martell. And you pay 15 grand. You go in a private jet with Dan. He takes you on his like book tour where like all the places that he's going to, like he's got a couple keynote speeches. So I'm coming to watch the keynotes, takes us on his private jet, goes across a couple different states and then flies back to Kelowna. So I'm on this jet mastermind and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what do I want from this experience? Because like everything's fucking popping right now. Like social media's popping, YouTube's popping, podcast popping. So I'm like, what do I want from this experience? Like, first thing I want is like proximity. So I want to be close to Dan so that I can watch how he moves, watch how he thinks, watch how he talks, watch how he acts. So I can like absorb like a sponge and I, through osmosis, learn how to be at that level because Dan's at a fucking higher level than me. I know where I'm a leader and I know where I'm a fucking follower. So that was the first thing. But the second thing is Dan wrote a best-selling book. And so on the plane, I literally just fucking grilled Dan for a good like 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, how do I write a best-selling book? And he gave me a lot of valuable key insights, which led me to come back to the hotel room and like sit down and just write for an hour. I just got finished with the event stuff and I just wrote for an hour. And I just want to encourage you guys to like, if you fucking want something, go for it. If you fucking want something, go for it because this book is something that I really want. And I have like a strong passion to put a fucking message out into the world. Like I feel like my story coming from rock bottom and then building myself into a fucking millionaire is like, there's a lot of people that are going to benefit from it. So I'm writing it. Anyways, I want to talk to you guys about a concept that I relived through writing this book. And it's this idea of heartbreak. And if you're going through a heartbreak right now, this could be for you. If you're experiencing a fucking major adversity in your life right now, this could be for you. If you're going through a really fucking dark time right now in your life and you feel like shit is not working, this is likely for you. Because back in 2016, that's exactly what the fuck I was going through. I was dating a girl and we were pretty serious at the time. Like we lived together. We had lived together for like a few months. And she told me that she wanted to move to Australia. And initially, I also wanted to move to Australia because I wanted to be with her. But like the more that I thought about it, I was building a business in Canada. I had a bunch of contacts in Canada. And so I realized that if I left Canada, then I'd be leaving the business that I just spent the last year and a half building, which I wasn't willing to do. And so I December 2015 rolled around and she was like, we were getting ready to leave. And I like looked at her one day. I was like, I don't think I can go. And she's like, what? She's like, I don't think I can fucking go. I'm like, I think I'm supposed to be here. Like, there's something about it that's supposed to keep me. I'm supposed to be fucking be here. I can't go. I'm like, you can go. I can't go. I'm going to stay here. And so we tried to do long distance for 3 months. And around March 2016, we were just fighting all the fucking time. And so she called me one day over FaceTime and we broke up over FaceTime. And I remember being absolutely fucking devastated to the point where I was like, I'm coming to see you. We're going to work this out. And so I booked a fucking non-refundable flight, non-refundable because I'm a dumbass, flight to Australia to like chase this woman down that had just broken up with me over FaceTime because I told her I didn't want to live in Australia. So like as the trip approaches, like I just couldn't make contact with her. Like I tried, I told her I was coming, couldn't make contact. And so I actually get into Australia and I got into fucking Melbourne. And I remember messaging this person and I was like trying to fucking reach through. Like I was like, I'm in Melbourne. I flew across the world. Like I just want to fucking see you, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so I'm sitting there in the fucking Melbourne airport, like absolutely distraught, just like completely heartbroken. If you've ever been through a heartbreak, you know what I'm talking about. Like it was the fucking worst. It felt like my heart was getting ripped out of my chest. Sitting there and I'm like, okay, so I've got really two options here. Option number one is I could stay in Australia and then do a trip to Bali and make the most out of it. Option number two is I could fucking fly back to Canada like a bitch. And I was like, I'm already in Australia. I already flew over here. Even if I'm not going to see this person, may as well fucking stay. So I stayed. I ended up flying out to the Gold Coast from Melbourne to see one of my friends because I didn't want to be in the same city and I just didn't want to fucking be in the same city. So I flew to Gold Coast. I had a friend there, stayed there for a couple of days, ended up getting super drunk to try to forget my feelings. And there was one night we went out to a casino and we got absolutely obliterated. And while we were drunk, I like look at my friend in Australia. I'm like, I should just stay in fucking here. I should just like fuck my trip to Bali. I've got a flight tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., but I should just stay in fucking Australia with you. And she's like, you should just stay in Australia with me. And we were fucking hammered. So I was like, sweet, I'm going to do it. I'm going to apply for a work visa. I'm going to live with you. It's going to be great. And I had $3,500 cash in my bank. So I was like, well, since I'm staying in Australia, like I don't need to be like saving my money for this trip because I'm going to make money while I'm down here. So because I'm going to get a job. So I'm just going to go take out $3,000 while I'm wasted and put $1,000 on fucking black. I'm like, I didn't have money at the time. Like I'm fucking flat broke. So I took out $3,000, fuck, $1,000 on red, black, fuck, $1,000 on black, red, fuck, $3,000 gone in like 5 minutes. I was like, okay. I look around and like I couldn't find Christina. So I ended up going back to her apartment. I was staying in my friend's apartment, went back there to wait for her. She came back a couple hours later and it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And when she came back, she like looked at me and I looked at her and she's like, I was like, holy fuck. Why am I still here? She's like, why are you still here? So I like rush inside, grab my bags, pack them all, still fucking wasted, run to the airport, fucking run up to my plane to catch it to Bali, get on my plane to Bali, fly to Bali, arrive there. Don't remember much. Woke up the next day in a third world country in Bali for the first time. I was like, holy fuck. I was like, where the fuck am I? Like, what? Where is this? Like, what the fuck? I've never been to another country other than Australia. So it was like Canada. I lived in fucking Calgary pretty much my whole life. Did a road trip to Edmonton, if that counts as traveling. And then I flew to Australia to try to fucking win my ex back. And then I was in Bali. That was my travel experience. And so waking up in a third world country while I was hungover as fuck was just like a completely new experience. I'd never been to Bali and I'd never been in this. So like I wake up like covered in sweat, half drunk. Those 3 weeks in Bali completely changed my fucking life. So I had $500 in my bank account. So I remember going to the bank account, like going to withdraw money. And I looked at my bank account and I had $500 and I was like, fuck, if I don't like, I don't have enough money to stay here for 3 weeks. So I'm like, if I don't figure out how to make money on this trip, like I'm actually fucked. So I pulled up my computer. I'd been doing some online coaching at this point, but I wasn't ever serious. Like I was selling like $100 to $200 fucking programs, like fitness and nutrition programs, whatever. But I'd never fully taken it seriously. But like I didn't have any fucking money and I didn't want to die in Bali. So I'm like, I need to figure this out. So I sat down on my computer and I wrote out this document and I called it Soft to Shredded. I was like, I'm going to sell this Soft to Shredded 6-week challenge. I still have the flyer. I just found it in my email. It's hilarious. Soft to Shredded. I was like, I'm usually charging $100 to $200 for online coaching, but I'm like, I'm going to sell 2 months. So I'm going to sell 6 weeks. I'm going to sell for $500. And if they win $1,000. So there's like a heavy incentive to enroll because if you win the challenge, you win double your money. So I marketed that for 2 weeks. And I remember I would send out 100 messages a day to people that were interested. I posted on my social media every single day. Anybody that even breathed on my fucking post, I'd send them a message. I ended up setting up consultations for like 5 o'clock in the morning Bali time, which was 3 p.m. in Canada. And I'd take calls from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. every day, which was 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every day back in Canada. And I ended up enrolling 10 people for $499 in this Soft to Shredded 6-week online challenge that I created out of the fucking blue. And I remember in that moment, I was like, holy fuck. I was like, if I can do this while I'm in Bali, make $5,000 while I'm in Bali, making FaceTime audio calls to people back in Canada, I was like, I sure as fuck can do this back in Canada. And it was literally that moment that I made the decision that I would never, ever, 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 ever work for anyone ever again. And I haven't. I went back to fucking Canada, like literally, like from that Bali trip, which was my heartbreak trip. the best I've ever fucking felt in my life because I'm like, holy shit, I just fucking became free. Went up to my manager at my old restaurant job and I like love the guy to death. We're actually still friends. Anytime I go to Calgary, I go to see him. I was like, bro, if I ever come back here asking for a job, I'm like, I quit. And if I ever come back here asking for a job, do not hire me because I hate talking to people about dumb shit that I don't care about. And I'm going to be the worst bartender / employee ever because I do not want to be here. So even if I beg you, do not take me back. And that for me was like incinerating the fucking ships. I'm like, fucking burn it all down. I'm like, I do not want an option to retreat. 2016, that was like April, May 2016. October 2016 was my first ever $10,000 month. Literally fucking like 4 or 5 months after that. Like, dude, this was like me hitting 10K like 5 months after the biggest breakup of my life. Like, we're talking about like, I literally, like in my head and my dumbass 23-year-old, 24-year-old head, whatever the fuck old I was like, this is my person. We're going to spend the rest of my life with it. That's how I felt in the moment. And in my head, this was the biggest adversity I'd ever fucking gone through. And on the other side of the biggest adversity I'd ever gone through was the biggest blessing I'd ever experienced. Literally right on the other side. Just had to fucking go through hell. Like, just had to go through hell and find a way through. And that's how I think life fucking works, dude. That's how I think life works. I think the way that you get to the fucking blessings is you go through the super hard shit. But it's like, I think that a lot of people, when they're going through the super hard shit, play the fucking woe is me card. Oh, this is so hard. This is really difficult that I'm going through this. And like, this is hard. And like, I fucking get it. Like, I'm talking about there was numerous nights on that trip that I cried myself to sleep because I was getting over the fucking heartbreak. And I kept fucking going. I kept fucking going. I had this dream, this goal, this like destination that I'd like to reach. And I just fucking found a way. And I'm talking about like, this is why I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship. Like, you can literally start with fucking nothing. I had nothing. I had $500 in my fucking bank account. That's literally it. I had $500 in my bank account and I was just like, I'm going to find a way to make this fucking work. I'm going to find a way to turn myself into a success. I'm going to find a way to make enough money to pay for my trip and get my ass home. And I fucking did it. And it's like any person listening to this right now could tap into the resourcefulness necessary to level up their life. Any one of you. And I truly believe that every single person that's listening to this right now is listening to it for a fucking reason. You are here for a reason. There's a reason you tuned in. There's a reason you listen to this podcast. There's a reason that this fucking live stream or this podcast spoke to you specifically because you were meant for something more. And dude, I spent my whole fucking life in a box until I was like 25. Just literally in a fucking little box. I was a drug addict in a box, working in a job, getting paid 9 to 5 in a fucking box. Wanted to be successful, but I lived in a box. I never fucking left my city. I saw the same fucking people. I did the same things every day. I was dumbass on the weekends. I was working out, going to the gym, in my routine, in my box. I was literally stuck in a box. And then 25, 26, I broke out of the box and I was like, I'm fucking never, ever, 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 ever working for anybody ever again. And that commitment, dude, like changed everything for me. And it was on the other side of the biggest adversity I had ever dealt with in my life at that point, besides my drug addiction. My drug addiction was probably the biggest adversity. And then after my drug addiction, I got sober and won my fitness competition. So that was another example of like on the other side of a massive adversity is a massive opportunity. But like, you have to view it like that. You have to view it like that. You cannot head into adversity and look at this adversity and be like, this is so hard. And this is why I'm not successful. And this is why I haven't been able to make it because of this thing. No, like the fucking obstacle is the reason. Like the obstacle is the path. Like the adversity is supposed to be there because the adversity is what shapes, carves, molds, and turns you into the person that you're supposed to become. It's there for a fucking reason. And so saying that you're like, oh, this adversity is so shit, like fucking complaining about it, you're literally complaining about the blessing that the fucking universe is giving you so that you could become the person that you were supposed to become. It's there for a reason. It's supposed to be there. And listen, I'm just going to fucking say it, okay? If you're the type of person that keeps running into the same problem over and over and over and over again, and it seems like the universe keeps bitch slapping you with the same problem over and over and over again, it's because you haven't learned the lesson yet, homie. You haven't learned the lesson yet. The universe is trying to teach your ass a lesson, and you ain't fucking listening. So the universe is like, okay, here's a fucking another one, dumbass. Here's another one. Here's a fucking another one. And until you fucking wake up and you learn what you're supposed to learn so you can get through to the other side and emerge and turn the adversity into an opportunity, you'll keep staying stuck in the same fucking place. Like, I want you to know that if you're listening to this and you're going through a hard time, like, you have the biggest fucking advantage over everybody else, because pain is the biggest motivating factor for transformation, period. Pain. That's why we hear fucking revenge bodies. So if you're going through it right now, good. Channel that pain, use that pain. Like, I use that heartbreak. And like, I'm not going to lie. I'll keep it 100. I'll keep it a buck with y'all. All right. When I started making money online, I literally said to myself, like, this is when I first started like becoming successful with Aesthetic Nation. I was like, I want to become so fucking successful that this person never forgets my name. Never forgets my name. And I would use that because I was fucking heartbroken. And so instead of being like, my fucking heart hurts, I was like, nah, I'm going to fucking use that shit. I'm going to channel it, and I'm going to make sure that this person never fucking forgets me. And like, that energy got me to my first $10,000 a month. It's not like I walk around with that energy now. Like, I'm not like, fuck you. Like, that's not conducive for like a healthy lifestyle. But like, when you got it, you got to fucking use it. You got to channel it. You got to turn it into something productive, something useful, something valuable. And you can even do that with like energy that you feel towards yourself. Like, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you think you're a fat fuck because you've been letting yourself down for the last like 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, like, use it. Like, use it. Be like, okay, motherfucker. Like, I hear you. I see you. I'm fucking sick of the situation that we're in. Like, I'm going to fucking do something about this. And I'm going to make sure that I'm unrecognizable in the next 6 months. It's the same thing when you look at your fucking bank account. Like, if you look at your bank account and you're disgusted, good. You should be. It should repulse you. It should appall you. It should piss you off. It should get you to a place where you're like, I will fucking do anything to turn this shit around. Man, adversity is a fucking blessing. I'm telling you, adversity is a blessing. So that's the message for today. Hopefully it landed. Hopefully it inspired you. Hopefully it helped you. If you're in a dark place right now, good. You're supposed to be there. So fucking keep going and keep your head up. Every adversity brings a seed of equal or greater opportunity. If you guys are excited about the new book that's coming out, it will be over the course of the next 6 to 12 months. You guys will start to hear a lot more about it because it's a work in progress. It's called I Am Him. All right, it's called I Am Him. So if you guys are excited, let me fucking know. Send me a message on Instagram. Let me know you listen to this podcast. You can't wait for it, and I can't wait to drop it. So hope you guys have the best day of your entire motherfucking lives, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.